なんとかなったみてえだな。畳みかける。これがスーパーサイヤ人3だ。
Alright, what's going on, you fam? Raiyuden here. Just got back from the gym, and it looks like the development team has released a newsletter. I really like these. They serve as like a gateway for us to follow the train of thought the developers have for existing characters and future characters, both design, the metas that they're trying to formulate, and the overall game landscape that they're trying to shape. And this one looks to be pretty impactful, talking about future character abilities and addressing how battles are experienced, meaning they want to talk about how they're going to address the current meta landscape and metas in the future. So let's go through it. Thank you for your continued support of Legends. Legends will be celebrating its 7th anniversary this May. To make this special year as exciting as possible, and to ensure Legends can be played and enjoyed for many years to come, we are currently hard at work on a massive version update. Here, we will explain some of the challenges that Legends is facing with regards to character abilities, and the effects those abilities have on the battle experience. Without even me reading further, I already know they're going to talk about 3 things. 1, they're going to talk about everyone having cover null. 2, they're going to talk about everyone having really long combo potential. And 3, they're probably going to talk about how so many character kits have so many things sprinkled into them that not everyone is going to remember everything that they do. I say this in every breakdown. Who's going to remember when X or Y character under A or B condition at C or D timer count is going to remember that he inflicts minus 30% key recovery? No one. No one's going to remember. There's just too many things going on. In the same way, Dokkan decided we got to simplify these passives. I know Legends is thinking the same thing, hence why we have the trait system, but that didn't really capture everything. The way Dokkan did it is they've broken it down into individual sentences to talk about what this character can do and when. I know Legends is probably going to want to do the same thing because some of these kits are so long, nobody wants to read them. We already know Dragon Ball fans do not read. So the objective, to make character abilities easier to understand and to return to battles where variety elements and distinct character abilities are viable. Look at that already. The current challenge, since the release of the game, we've introduced many different characters in order to deliver unique gameplay experiences. However, a large number of characters have abilities that are too broad, and this has damaged the original appeal of Legends battle experience. In this notice, we will explain the 3 major issues we have identified and the ways in which we plan to address them. A lot of information will be covered, but we hope you'll read through it when you have the time. Homogenization of abilities. In past PvP metas, card draw speed up was a distinct ability given to characters who demonstrated strong combo abilities in the original series. On the other hand, tag regeneration characters would have abundant ways to restore their health. In other words, each character had distinct characteristics. This is a good point. As time went on, a lot of characters have lost what made them originally unique, and instead everybody is blended together as a very long combo guy that does a lot of damage, that has a way to just get an easy cover null, yada yada yada. We've all said this, numerous content creators have talked about this. A lot of the characters are starting to feel the exact same. Just sprinkle a unique gauge and he does X, Y, or Z. I've always pushed for them to add creativity for these characters, so when you go into PvP, you feel different. You feel like something else is there to achieve. Daima Goku, fill the unique gauge. Papa Green, lock in blue, nice little snipe. Tag 4s, tag switch between Goku into Vegeta, long combo potential. Tag back into Goku, get a blue card so you can restore your Vanish Restoration so you can maintain yourself on the field and keep comboing. These characters are wildly different, and yet they're both combo characters. See, Legends can make them creative. It just feels like they've kind of lost the touch. So I'm glad they've acknowledged this. As more and more characters have been added, the number of characters with any given ability has increased. As a result, characters have become more and more homogeneous, making their individual characteristics harder to grasp. Yes. Another example of this is element disadvantage nullification for damage sustained effects, aka type neutral damage received, which were only given to a select few units at first. Over time, many characters have started getting these effects, making it harder to enjoy element-based strategies. I said this too. I said this in so many character breakdowns, where just because a new character comes out with type disadvantage to the new big honcho, whoever is the last major release, doesn't mean you should just sprinkle permanent type neutral damage received. Type advantage is a core mechanic of the game. This is a 3v3 game. Team synergy also relies on element building. So for them to just give everybody type neutral damage received, it almost defeats the point. Seriously, it almost defeats the whole point. It's a core mechanic of the game. Allow people to strategize their team compositions, knowing full well, okay, I know right now there's an Ultra Cell. It would be a smart idea for me to have a blue character on my team. But if your entire team is yellow and they take type neutral damage received, you don't have to care. It's type neutral damage received. I got type neutral every time I throw a green. I got type neutral when my unique gauge is full, and I get type neutral when I show up on the field. It doesn't matter. You just smush all the uniqueness of the fights into one flat pancake, and it's not unique at all. So, okay, I'm glad they acknowledge this. Next, increasing characters with high combo power. The same issue has occurred with special cover change nullification and draw speed up effects. Holy crap, Legends is acknowledging the issues. I said this even way before Ultra Turles came out. Why the hell does everyone show up on the field with permanent cover null and level 2 card draw speed? It's not sustainable. You've all experienced this. When Legends Festival dropped and we got Transforming Vegeta Blue and Green Super Saiyan 3 Goku, what happened? They paired them with Ultra Majin Vegeta or Shin or some other obnoxious long combo guy, and you basically got stuck in this combo loop that was... Honestly, it lasted the whole fight. I've seen so many clips of people going from 180 timer counts to like 30 timer counts getting comboed, and the combo ends with the opponent doing 8 million damage. Basically a Rising Rush. It's stupid. So that was not sustainable. They could not go forward. So many people have said 2025 releases have felt healthy/balanced, and I think it's more because the development team realized we need to start introducing conditions for these characters to be at their peak, for them to be at their strongest. I agree with that. I think that makes more sense. Make it so I have to fill a unique gauge. Make it so I have to use this. Make it so I have to do that. That's fine. But if I just show up, I get a card, level 2 card draw speed, and my card turns into another card, that's dumb. That's dumb. I said that I feel like Super Saiyan 4 Goku is a meta resetter. Not in the fact that he's able to just overpower everyone, and if you don't have him, you lose, like Blue Beast was 2 years ago. I mean in the sense that they are trying to wipe away the sins of the past by removing the overwhelming mistakes they gave so many characters. A lot of the level 2 card draw speed can be cancelled. You have permanent level 1 card draw speed, and then the second level can be wiped away. Same thing with the cover null. Same thing with so many different things that would make a character overpowered. They're trying to wipe away with those things, and clearly, going forward, they're going to not introduce them anymore. So I think the Daima tag is representing a change in the game. Daima shows up, Daima wipes away all the buffs, Daima kills all your combo potential, all those level 2 card draw speed, card into card shenanigan characters get power crept, and then the Daima tag gets power crept, and then going forward, that's it. There's no more I show up at level 2 card draw speed. There's no more I get super easy cover null. It sounds like they're trying to go back to the days where you had to strategically think about when you drop your combo. You need to strategically think about who you give your green card. Because nowadays, it's just give it to the AoE green guy. It doesn't matter. Give it to AoE green guy. But now it's going to be, okay, this guy has cover null on his green. But at the same time, I need to use a blast card first. His character with the blast cover change has been on the bench for a while. Do I drop combo? Introducing these thoughts again makes the game achieve a little bit of additional skill ceiling that they took away before. Next, increase in complexity and length of character abilities. Yeah, we just talked about this. It's paragraphs upon paragraphs. Go look at the Buu Duo's kit. Their main ability alone is more than most characters that released 2 years ago. It's too much. There's too much crap going on for everybody. Another result of single characters having such a wide variety of abilities is that the text of abilities has gotten quite long and difficult to understand. The conditions for activating abilities as well have only been getting more complex. They are difficult to parse for players who have just started, but we expect they are also difficult for veteran players too. We consider the cause of both this issue and the aforementioned homogenization to be individual characters having too many abilities. The following sequences have contributed to this. Combo capabilities increase due to cover null and draw speed up, etc. Hand destruction, key reduction, and other disruptive effects increase to combat those combo capabilities. Hand destruction nullification, key reduction nullification, attribute downgrade nullification, and similar effects increase to combat those disruptive effects. This is them saying characters have become very complicated and feel very blended together because we made this sequence to play cat and mouse with everything. First thing, we made characters combo a lot more because we gave everybody cover nullification, we gave them level 2 card draw speed, we gave them ways of earning more cards. To combat that, we introduced hand destruction, key reduction, and other disruptive effects to stop people from having level 2 card draw speed, lots of cards in their hands, cover nullification. Then, to power creep that, we introduced the ability to nullify the nullification. So we introduced card protection effects, key protection effects, attribute downgrade nullification. So you can't increase my my arts cost. You can't paralyze me. You can't do any of this. And similar effects increase to combat those disruptive effects. It's just funny to see them understand this. Oh, we introduced characters like Super 17, UVB, Turles, Ultra Majin Vegeta. Oh, so to do that, we introduced characters that kill cards like Ku, Do, Evil Boo, all these other characters to deal with those. And because that became an issue, we introduced characters that don't care, like, transforming Vegeta Blue with a full green card, and then over here, we introduced Green Super Saiyan 3 Goku, who's immune to everything. Red Gotenks Super Saiyan 3 is immune to everything. So they're talking about the order of which they messed up, and what the cause and how this translated to more characters feeling the same and more characters feeling a little bit too complex. So it's good. They've acknowledged their issues. Another factor contributing to that is internally we had set a limit of 70% for sustained damage cut effects when deciding character abilities. I noticed this. They never went beyond 70. They actually started to introduce reduction in impact, explode, and slice damage received passives. It was a bit interesting. This was done to avoid possible confusion about all damage being reduced to 0 if damage cut effects were to exceed 100%. How sustained damage cutter works. Sustained damage cut effects cancel out the enemy's inflicted damage up effects. Even if sustained damage cut were to exceed 100, this would not make all damage received 0? Wait, really? Sustained damage cut is that linear? Oh, who would have thought? So if my opponent has 100% damage inflicted and I have 50% reduced damage received, it's the equivalent of them only having 50% damage inflicted? Really? I didn't think it was that linear. I actually thought this was a reduction by a percentage to the sum of the calculated damage from my opponent. So if my opponent does 1,000,000 damage by the end of their combo or a card, let's just say they use one strike card, it does 1,000,000 damage. If I have 70% sustained damage cut, then that means 70% of the 1,000,000 was removed. So they do 300k instead. That's what I thought. But it's actually that linear? Who would have thought? I didn't think so. It felt a little bit too simplistic. To prevent confusion, we intend to stay under the limit by maintaining defensive abilities with hand destruction and recovery effects instead of more damage cut effects. So that means expect more characters with card killing similar to Ku, and a lot more characters that reduce key recovery effects similar to Do. Addressing these issues, we plan to gradually implement the following improvements to these issues. Adjustments to combos incorporating steps, etc. Step combos. Why? Just say charge step. Card draw and key recovery are reduced during step combos, but in order to prevent excessive comboing, increasing that reduction amount is being considered. Oh. To my veteran players, we've seen this before. do you remember when the green Goten and the purple Super Saiyan 2 Gohan were the cause of sidestep combos being nerfed? So, for those of you that are new to the game, the purple Super Saiyan 2 Gohan, this guy has a unique equip now and a Zenkai. This guy, when he came out, was so overpowered with the green Android 16 that the key recovery that he got and the card draw amount was so significant that he was like transforming Vegito Blue and green Super Saiyan 3 Goku before anything was considered. So they saw that that guy could combo way too much. So we're going to go ahead and nerf the amount of ki you recover and the amount of cards that you draw. They nerfed it gradually. A lot of players quit because of that. I think they're going to be doing the same thing here. So charge stepping is not going to net you as much ki and not as many cards anymore. I think that's their plan going forward. Next, adjustments to activation timing and length of special cover change nullification. Thank the heavens. Length of special cover change nullification. We've all said 10 timer counts is too damn much. 5 timer counts is the sweet spot. I think 5 timer counts makes more sense. I can appreciate that. Recent characters have already been released with these balance changes in mind. We plan to avoid giving future characters excessive amount of special cover change nullification. So you released the Super Saiyan 4 Goku with 10 timer counts of cover change nullification, knowing full well that, okay, after this guy, no more. Okay. Specific example, Legends Limited Super Saiyan 3 Vegeta only gets 5 counts of nullification. This is so funny to me. They used the Vegeta as the example of, okay, this is when we want to be balanced. But the Goku goes ahead and gets 10. That's just so funny to me. Yeah, good job. Thanks, Legends. Thanks for the bias. The special cover change nullification effect will not be discarded. We will continue making adjustments in order to create metas where special cover change nullification can be used more effectively. Adjustments to length and activation opportunities for element disadvantage nullification. We consider a wide variety of factors when deciding the element of a new character, but one of the most important ones is whether specific parties need a given element. Yeah, what a coincidence. How many times have we seen a green Super Saiyan 3 Goku? I said it is just ironic how the Super Saiyan 3 is always green because a tag or the team that they're trying to buff up just so happens to need a green character. And it's a Super Saiyan 3 release every single time. Movie Saga. They need a new green. Dragon Fist. Daima. They need a new green. Super Saiyan 3 Vegeta. Saiyans from 2021. What do they need? Green Super Saiyan 3 Goku. Oh, Majin Buu Saga. We only got a 1% green. What do they need? Transforming Super Saiyan 3 Goku. Every single time. However, element disadvantage nullification has been increasingly used as a way to ensure characters have competitive abilities if the meta they are released in features characters they have element disadvantage against. Examples of characters released into unfavorable element factors would be Legends Limited Super Saiyan God Goku or Legends Limited Omega Shenron. How about Legends Limited Super Baby 2, huh? You guys released that guy at the pinnacle of the mono red meta. Revival Cell, Super 17, and then that goddamn Ultra Super Saiyan 2 Gohan. That poor guy had to bank on blue cards and green cards and main abilities in order to even survive. That guy should have been listed here. This was your own fault, though. This right here was your fault. You released him beside Ultimate Gohan. Come on, Legends. You can't stick a rod in front of the wheel, tumble over, and say, oh, the meta did it to him. You did it. It's your fault. In order to emphasize the fun of building around team elements, we intend to reduce the length and opportunities to activate element disadvantage nullification. Instead, we will adjust more fundamental abilities like inflicted damage increases or sustained damage reduction to balance characters. This is a little nerve-wracking for me. They are saying, okay, if we release a character that's in a meta where it's bad for him, we're not going to go ahead and provide more type neutral. We are going to increase his damage inflicted or increase sustained damage reduction instead to make them better. It shouldn't be that the character gets adjusted to the meta where he's at a disadvantage. It should be you planning releases to ensure that a 3v3 team composition allows the character to fare well in the meta. I don't like this idea. I think this is not the best way going forward because there will always be scenarios where that character that is making this bad meta for the other character goes away. They're going to go away. Then what happens? Now that Ultra Majin Vegeta is gone, characters like Ultra Gogeta 4, Ultimate Gohan, Instant Transmission Goku, these characters now got more value. It's going to happen. So this seems a little short-sighted. So I really hope they think more broadly and instead ensure that, okay, let's go ahead and Zenkai Awaken a 1% character and make them good enough that they at least protect the character. Something like that would be wiser than for them to say, okay, just steroid inject this guy who's going to be at a disadvantage because, oh no, type disadvantage. Adjustments to disrupt and recovery abilities. The limit on sustained damage cut effects was one of the causes for the increase in disruption and recovery abilities, and so it has been removed. Damage cut effects will now be called damage guard. No changes will be made to how they function. We plan to gradually reduce excessive disruption and recovery abilities in future characters, making up for the difference with more fundamental abilities. I don't think a name change is what you needed to do. If you explain to players that sustained damage cut is a linear reduction to damage inflicted, would it not make more sense to call this something more like damage, damage inflicted reduction, damage inflicted guard versus just damage guard? I think if you're more explicit, it would be easier for people to understand. Sustained damage cut, because you're using the word damage, to me would imply, okay, this is going to be a reduction in the sum of all the calculated numbers to the damage hit on me. But if it's a linear one-to-one of reducing the damage inflicted from my opponent, then why don't you just call it that? Something similar to that. Damage guard may still confuse people. I think enemy damage inflicted reduction or something along those lines, or damage inflicted reduction or something along those lines would make more sense. Damage guard. If they're gonna say they're not gonna, if they say they're gonna reduce, if these damage inflicted reductions are gonna go beyond 70% and even 100%, damage guard is gonna be super confusing. Oh, my opponent has 120% damage guard. What does that mean? I take away 120% damage inflicted. Oh, you're not guarding 120% damage that you received? No. We plan to gradually reduce excessive disruption and recovery abilities in future characters, making up for the difference with more fundamental abilities. Good. Everyone hates the diamond tag. Specific example, where reduced ki by 40 would have been considered previously, the character will instead get reduced ki by 20 and higher damage guard values. Starting in April, characters will have greatly increased values for effects like inflicted damage up and damage guard, previously sustained damage cut, but their overall power will not be drastically stronger compared to existing characters. Here's the thing. Their overall power will not be drastically stronger compared to existing characters. Legends has had this issue where they lack the ability to properly gauge what the overall power of an existing character is. I'll give you some examples. We get a character like Super 17, and in the same 2 weeks, we get a character like Super Vegeta. In the same celebration, we get a character like Ultimate Gohan, and then we get a character like God Goku. I don't trust their wording to understand what this means. Because how we understand and play characters and how they understand and play characters is not the same. Their overall power will not be drastically stronger compared to existing characters. Do you guys remember years ago when, in a reveal and stuff, Toshi released the original transforming Super Saiyan Vegito? He said, and I quote, "We made this guy, but we didn't want him to be too meta-defining." I'm pretty sure he was the best character in the game. So I'm going to take this phrase with a grain of salt. If their objective is, we're going to go ahead and power creep the crap out of the existing meta with higher damage inflicted numbers and damage guard numbers, and going forward, we're going to no longer give them crazy combo potential and disruptive effects, then I understand. But to say, oh, we're going to steroid inject everybody, but what they can do is not going to be above the existing characters, I'm going to raise a question mark. Revisions to ability text. Ability text has become so lengthy that it becomes hard to understand, so we will be addressing that issue. With the goal of making the abilities of each characters easier to understand, we are revising the rules for ability text. We will also be moving excessive explanatory text to the in-game help. Ability effects that activate at the start of battle are being moved into a new starter ability section. We plan to consider other solutions, such as turning specific effects into icons. The new ability text is still a work in progress, but here's an example. Before, apply buff effect, nullify enemy special cover change that activate when changing cover to self for 3 timer counts. After, nullify special cover change. 3 counts. Yeah, that works for me. I like it. A lot less bloat. A lot of the passives don't need so much regurgitated text. So this is good. Summary of planned adjustments. Those are all the adjustments currently planned. We will begin to apply them to characters being released in April, and the number and complexity of abilities will be reduced gradually over an extended period of time. We are doing this gradually to prevent newer characters from being unable to compete against those released before April 2025. In your current meta, if you were to build a party around the character who is given 200% damage guard in exchange for having little to no combo stopping capability, it is possible you would never be able to stop your opponent's combo. We expect you would simply lose after spending 180 timer counts being comboed by your opponent. Yeah, see? Looks, that's exactly that we talked about. They plan on gradually phasing off the sins of the past. Wiping away the buffs of characters at level 2 card draw speed. Removing characters that can combo for so long. It's smart of them to do that. And it's smart of them to do it gradually as well. Sort of, you know, just simmer it in. Versus just scorching everyone minute 1. It's a very smart way of doing this. And you know what? To me, this is a very good newsletter so far. We're making adjustments with the overall meta in mind to ensure characters are not weaker because a number of abilities have been reduced. Ultimately, our goal is to make character abilities easier to understand and to return to battles where variety elements and distinct character abilities are viable. We do not intend to make a game where characters compete using only their base stats. In conclusion, with each new character release, abilities have gotten stronger and more complex. Longer and more complex. As Legends celebrates its 7th anniversary, we're working hard to address this issue and make battles more exciting than ever. Our goal is to make character abilities easier to understand and to return to battles where a variety of elements and distinct character abilities are viable. We fully understand that this put a lot of pressure on you, our players, as you adjust to make these changes, but we hope we can make up for it by delivering new and better battle experiences. We humbly ask for your patience and understanding. Our team is hard at work making Legends even more fun than it can be played and enjoyed. Even more fun so it can be played and enjoyed for many years to come. As always, we hope you continue to enjoy Dragon Ball Legends. Toshi and Tani, Dragon Ball Legends management team. First of all, the Toshi and Tani fusion team, pretty cool. I'm happy with this newsletter. I really am. I think they did a fantastic job explaining what their thought process is and their steps going forward to ensure that the meta is fun. It's nice to see that on their side, they've realized, okay, we made a mistake. Everybody can combo for too long. Everyone has too much cover change nullification. Everybody has too much oppressiveness. There's a lot of unfun mechanics that we've introduced that the players don't like. I like that they're thinking we got to ensure that players are incentivized to make diverse teams versus making uber juiced Zenkai ones. I'm happy for that. I really am. I'm glad that they're making it easier for newer players to understand what these characters can do. Because remember, Legends gets so many new players every single major celebration. The problem is, I don't think they stick around. Because if I saw the Boo Duos kit and I just started a game, I'd be like, am I willing to commit myself to this new game that I'm just testing the waters when every character looks like I gotta understand an entire encyclopedia to understand what they do? And then when you go in the game and there's other people that do understand it, the barrier of entry is greater. There's so many things that a newer player will have to overcome in order to measure up to what existing players can do. Now, obviously, that is both a good and a bad thing. There should be a measurable difference for a veteran player. You should be rewarded for your commitment to the game. But at the same time, the gap cannot be so big that the newer player doesn't stand a chance. As a matter of fact, this is why we don't get new titles that introduce new stats. Because for me, who's been around for 7 years, I have all the titles and I get the increased stat effects. Yippee. What's the new guy gonna do? How does he make up for 7 years worth of titles where I just get maybe 15 to 20k more stats for free? They can't do anything, so they stop releasing titles like that. I'm glad they're thinking about that, and it's newsletters like these that give me more confidence in the game and its future. It really does. So I really hope Legends continues to really surgically approach how they want to go about the game, because like they said, characters are very complex, and I'm sure this also makes it very difficult for them to play test them, because they need to make sure that this new character they introduce fares well with all the other characters that exist. I wager Super Saiyan 3 Goku transforming Vegeta Blue and Ultra Majin Vegeta was like an edge case they didn't properly test. Green Super Saiyan 3 Goku at a full gauge gets green. Vegeta with the full gauge and that dumb AoE green is going to get a bunch of cards, level 2 cardio speed, cover nullification. Transforming Vegeta Blue with a full gauge, that guy can't be stopped by anything. So you got this infinite combo setup. They need to keep measuring up to ensure those don't exist. So Legends, thank you for sharing this information. I hope they continue to hone in on ensuring the game is fun to play. I noticed they haven't talked about counter gauges and AoE greens, which kind of stinks, because here they are talking about how, okay, we have X or Y mechanic that would be unfun for players to deal with, and the long combo potential and whatnot, but they haven't specifically talked about those things that I think the player base does not like. I've been pretty vocal about AoE greens. I hate those, and counter gauges I think universally everyone dislikes as well. They haven't said anything about that. Maybe that means we're going to see one in the future again with all these balance changes in mind. I don't know. Either way, let me know in the comment section below what you think about this. Be on the lookout for a fun summon video I did with Goresh tomorrow. But yeah, hopefully Legends continues to prosper with the years to come. But until then, guys, peace.